Here's a quick little review of the Ryobi Jet Blower P21081. This one here I actually picked up not too long ago when it's actually on special. This is just a tool only that I had purchased from Ryobi. Not the one with the battery and the battery and charger, but just the tool itself only, since I had plenty of batteries hanging around. It came in two pieces. This is actually an attachment that you attach to the clear see-through. It runs on a minimum of, I would say, a 3 amp hour battery. I have right now a 4 amp hour battery in here. I just finished off using it. It's on a half a charge in the second battery, and this one here is completely dead, or almost dead. It's on the last thing there, but overall this here has 100 mile an hour pressure on it, or running time. Oh, this says 100 miles an hour, or 240 to 280 cubic foot per minute on the exhaust fan, which is, I'm presuming, on the end of the blower itself. That's where they're probably measuring it off. Battery wise, I would say if you're running on a 4 amp hour battery, you're looking to get maybe 20 to 25 minutes of runtime per battery. It will actually depend on the size of battery that you're running, and the runtime will vary from one to another. I've used this on a 3 amp hour battery, and I would say about 10 to 15 minutes per battery. It'll drain them completely, but on a 4 amp hour, it will give you 20 to 25 minutes of runtime. And it will actually use the 6 and 9 amp hour batteries quite nicely as well, and of course longer runtime for both of the other ones respectively. So you're looking at, maybe with the 9 amp hour, I would say you're looking at maybe 45 to 50 minutes on the 9 amp hour per battery. That's going from a full charge to all the way down to 1 bar left on these batteries. Now we're going to go inside. I'm going to continue on from there, and we'll talk about the different batteries that you can use with this. And it's very interesting to find out. Okay, let's go inside. Okay, here we are. As I was mentioning outside, I was using the 4 amp hour battery, which I have here, and this one here was actually showing just one, as you can see right there. This is the first one I had used for today, which I ran practically empty, almost there. There's about 25%. For the blower that I have there, the P21081, the Jet Blower from Ryobi, they usually suggest 4 amp hour battery, which gives you about, I believe, about 20 to 25 minutes of runtime at full power. So the Ryobi does have an adjustable throttle control for the speed of the blower itself. You can use anywhere from a P3 up to, not a P3, 3 amp hour, all the way up over to a 9 amp hour battery. This one here, I would not suggest the old 1.3 amp hour, because this here would just really die because it's too small and it's too weak. This here probably would last about 5 minutes, even though it takes about 45 minutes to charge up fully. And these ones here, the 3 amp hour, the 4 amp hour, you're looking at maybe 15 to 20 on the 3 amp hour. 20, I would say between 25 and 30 minutes for this one here, for the 4 amp hour. Here you're looking at maybe a half hour to 45 minutes, and probably over an hour for the 9 volt, for the 6 and 9 volts. I've used this one here, the 6 amp hour, on the leaf blower, because I've actually tested it out, and I drained it completely down. It lasted me almost 50 minutes just on the 6 amp hour. So the 9 amp hour might be a little bit longer than that in regards to using it. The reason why you always hear, like, from companies like Ryobi, especially for the leaf blowers, and I know not many people understand this, and I've gone through it when I've ran the 3 amp hour and the 4 amp hour, just to see how much I can get out of them. When running it at full blast, at the maximum, which is 100 miles an hour equivalent, or 240 to 280 cubic feet per minute on the battery, it takes quite a bit of juice from the batteries themselves. So the run times, whether it's a 3, 4, 6, or 9 amp hour batteries, will vary. And not only that, the 3 amp hours, as this one here is, and the 9 amp hour, 3, 6, and 9 amp hours are the high performance ones, meaning that they are meant for the brushless tools, but they can be used on the regular brush tools. It's just that you won't be using these two little contacts down here, which is communication for the brushless motors. Otherwise, they act the same as any other battery, any other lithium-ion battery that Ryobi has. The reason why I jumped from 1.3, because that's what comes stock with most kits, which is a basic one that you can actually start off with. They're starting to come out now with the kits with 2 amp hour, 2.5 amp hour batteries to work with, and then you have your 3s that you can get in a kit form. Then you'll have your 4 amp hour dual packs, which I did buy 2 dual packs, and then you'll have your 6 amp hour and your 9 amp hours. Now, the charge times between the 1.3, 3, 4, 6, and 9 will vary because of the amp hour ratings on it, because there's holding up more amp hours in each cell while being used. So like that gives you the longest runtime on all of these. So these will vary from amp hour battery to amp hour battery. I love using this because it gives me a chance to actually drain out the batteries. I love using the blower because it gives me a chance to drain out the batteries out in pairs. And if I was using like the 6 amp hour or the 9 amp hour, of course it's going to take a little bit longer for these two to actually drain on, even on the blower. But then you got a full cycle out of them. I love using these batteries because it's always good to have a good rotation on these batteries, because you don't want these things to die off. And I always keep them separate away from my tools when they're not in use, and just keep them stored close to the battery, to the battery charger itself. Most times, when I am charging, I'll use my gray IntelliPort chargers, because the gray IntelliPorts are slow charging chargers, whereas the green one is slightly faster in comparison. So depending on the size of the battery, the charge time will change. 1.3 amp hours will take about 30 minutes to fully charge. The 3 amp hour, 4 amp hours, they're almost cut by a half hour each, depending on the size and how much drainage there is on them. I love using these batteries, and I might get a couple more, get another 2 6 volt, another 2 9 amp, 6 amp hour, 9 amp hour. So that way I have 4 of these on each of these, and 4 on the 3 amp hours. Other than that, I love using these batteries, especially on my tools. And especially depending on the type of tool that you'll use, the drainage, how quickly these batteries will drain, will depend on the tool. Blowers, lawnmowers, guarantee will suck these things here dry, especially the 4 amp hours. I've seen many reviews on the Ryobi 18 volt lawnmower, and the 4 amp hours usually get very hot because you're basically using these things in parallel, and they heat up quickly. So you have to give these guys time to cool down before you can start charging them up. Otherwise, you'll see on the battery charger saying it's too hot and it has to wait for it to cool down. Luckily, I'm in an air-conditioned room. I usually let these things, even if I'm on my blower, like the P21081, I let these things cool down a little bit, then put them on the charger. No problems afterwards. Same thing with the 6 and 9 amp hours. If I'm doing a lot of cutting or blowing, I'll let them even when they're down to like 1 bar on it, I'll let them cool down. Even though they don't feel too hot by the touch, I still do it the same thing for these ones and any one of these for that matter. Just so that way I keep a longer life battery on these ones. And that's basically about it. Hopefully this explains a little bit more about these batteries. Oh yeah, and one other thing, keep good maintenance on these batteries. Even though you may not use them all the time, take them out, use the leaf blower, drain them, charge them up. It may sound like a big deal, but in the long run you'll have a longer lasting battery. And that's what I'm planning to do with these ones that I have here. So that's about it for the quick review on the batteries and the P21081 blower from Ryobi.